Hello and welcome to the WA Football Commission's Metro North Bouncedown for youth team managers in Year 7 to Year 12. Whether you are new to the role or come with years of experience, today's session is designed to provide team managers with the information they need for the upcoming 2024 season. This information is for Metro North, which includes competitions in the Claremont, Subiaco and West Perth districts. The WA Football Commission has a number of staff members available in Metro North to assist clubs. Our staff include Head of Competitions Brad Gardner, Competitions Team Leader Kathy Monk, Competitions Administrator Sandy Swift and Amy Crane, Coaches Coordinator Baker Denneman, and for our participation officers for Claremont is Alex Alberti, for Subiaco Corey Dullard, and for West Perth Mitch Dupanis. The team manager role is vitally important as you are the primary point of contact for your team. As manager, you are responsible for ensuring the welfare of umpires at matches, dealing with off-field football matters, arranging the required volunteers for games, managing player welfare, and providing administrative support for your team and club. We thank you for taking on this essential role for your team. Let's begin with our rules and regulations. Each year, the WA Football Commission releases a document that contains all the rules, regulations and policies that govern our competitions. This document can be found on the WA Football website. This document is an essential item for all team managers, and you should keep this document in an easy to find location so you are able to answer any questions from players, parents, volunteers or coaches. The Rules and Regulations document outlines a number of policies, many of which you should familiarise yourself with prior to the season beginning, so that you can confidently answer questions like, do we still play when there's thunder and lightning? What happens if someone is vilified on the field? What if someone makes inappropriate comments or is bullied on social media? And how many games do I have to play to qualify for finals? Whilst we won't go through every policy today in its entirety, we will cover some elements but recommend you take the time to read through each one of them prior to round one. One of the most important parts of the Rules and Regulations document is the section on the spirit of junior football. This section outlines that every participant needs to understand that junior football in Western Australia is delivered to the community with the spirit of the game in mind. The spirit of junior football is designed to maximise the enjoyment and development of junior footballers by providing our children with a game environment that is safe, fun and fair. We ensure the spirit of junior football is obtained by upholding and promoting and protecting the rules and regulations, the laws of the game, the codes of conduct and spirit of the game. Above all, everybody involved in junior football must not engage in conduct which is unbecoming or likely to prejudice the interest or reputations of junior football or to bring the game of football into disrepute. Encompassing the spirit of junior football is our equal opportunity policy. Under this policy, the coach is required to ensure all players, regardless of their age, size, gender, ability or the competition they are playing in, are given an equal opportunity to play in a variety of positions on the field. All players must also play at least 60% of a game each week. This is important in allowing players to gain experience and learn and develop the skills of each position. Adhering to this policy and its intent ensures all players and parents feel they are getting a fair go and a part of the team, enhancing overall participation in junior football. This part of the equal opportunity policy is monitored by teams utilising a player rotation app. Each week you will need to assign a volunteer from within your team to operate the interchange app that records when players are on the field and when they are on the bench. We will cover this a little bit later. Each year we receive numerous queries regarding the rules surrounding players' eligibility and moving in teams. Please be aware that the following applies. Players may only play for one team in their correct age group. Players are permitted to play up into a higher age group as long as it is by no more than 1 year group. This means a Year 7 player can play up into a Year 8 team, but not a Year 9 team. For our split age group competitions, this means a Year 10 player can play up into a Year 11-12 team, but a Year 9 player is not permitted to do so. If playing up, players can play for more than one team in the older age group. This has changed from previous seasons and allows for more flexibility for clubs and teams. Remember that players may only play up on a temporary basis, a maximum of 4 times. Once they play a 5th game for the older age group, they must remain with that team for the rest of the season and are unable to return to their correct age group until the following year. If a player is going to move up to an older age group, your club registrar must submit a request prior to the 5th game being played, nominating which team the player will stay in for the remainder of the season. Players must play a minimum of 5 games for a team to be eligible to play in finals. Please note this rule is different for Colts and Roger Cup players, so please refer to the Care Club Hub for more information on these players. Please ensure players, parents and coaches are aware of these rules, as penalties may apply for any breaches of the player eligibility rules. Another important policy in the youth age football is the E-point system. The purpose of the E-point system is to weigh the game day behaviour with the same as winning a match, as well as rewarding teams for displaying positive game day behaviour. The E-point model is applied to all competitions from Year 7 and above. If you are new to youth football, a maximum of 4 E-points will be awarded per team per game for each completed regular season match. The team's behaviour, including that of the players, team officials, support staff or spectators, will determine if any of these E-points will not be rewarded. 1 E-point will not be awarded for every yellow card received, and 2 E-points will not be awarded for every red card received. 4 E-points will not be awarded for any melee that occurs, and the loss of the E-points cannot be appealed in the case of a yellow or red card. Season 2024 will see the introduction of 2 bonus E-point rounds. Bonus rounds will see all E-points awarded doubled for teams displaying positive game day behaviour. The first bonus round will occur between round 1 and 4, and the second bonus rounds will occur between rounds 11 and 14. Another important game day policy is the even up policy for Year 7 to 9. This policy outlines that teams playing one another must be even on the field at all times. This is achieved by sending players from one team to play for the opposition. It is important to note that you only have to even up on the field. You do not need to provide players so the opposition has a bench. Players that are sent to the opposition to play must be swapped each quarter and must give their full effort while playing. Coaches should ensure that players lent to the opposition are giving their best effort. Players seen not to be giving their full effort whilst playing for the opposition can be issued with a yellow card. Players sent to the opposition are either to turn their jumpers inside out or wear a spare jumper provided by the opposition. For Years 10, 11, 12 males and Year 9, 10, 11, 12 female competitions, the even down rule has been implemented, meaning players are not required to play for the opposition team to even up. Instead, the team with the higher number of players must equal the playing number on the field and run with a larger bench. It is important to note that the even up rule is in place at all times. This means if you are not currently in an even up situation, but the opposition team has no bench, and one of their players leaves the field due to an injury, your team must immediately remove a player to ensure the teams are even on the field. The player removed should be the closest player to the interchange area to ensure teams are evened up as quickly as possible. The only exemption to the even up rule is when the opposition is awarded a yellow or red card and has no player on the bench to replace them. In this scenario, you are not required to send an additional player to play for the opposition. It is also important to familiarise yourself with the mercy rule, section 51 of the Rules and Regulations. As outlined in the spirit of junior football, it is important not to focus on winning at all costs. If it is clear that one team is dominating another during a game, both teams should work together to equalise teams however possible. This may mean adjusting player positions on the field, asking players to only kick on their non-dominant foot, or asking your defenders to simply punch the ball in a contest rather than taking a mark. These simple changes to gameplay should be explained to players in a way to increase player development and ensure the game is enjoyable for all players on both teams. If the margin in the game becomes excessive, please be aware that teams will only be credited with a maximum win of 60 points. Coaches do not need to wait until the margin is 60 points plus to implement this policy. Earlier implementation makes a better game for all players. Unfortunately, there are times within our game where players can be injured and a stretcher is needed. When a player is injured, it can be a stressful time, so by understanding the policy, you can help keep your players and the families remain calm. Most importantly, when a player is injured, only authorised persons are permitted to enter the field of play to assist the player. This means only the first aider, runner, or a player already on the field can approach the injured player. We understand it can be difficult for families watching, but please ensure they know they are not able to run onto the field to assist their child. As we have seen in the past incidents across junior football, whilst the parent's intention may be to approach their child and offer assistance, parents from the opposition team may believe their child is now being approached by an adult and then also enter the field. This can result in an escalation and potentially volatile situation. For this reason, there are heavy penalties for unauthorised adults entering the field of play, and they start at a 4-week to 16-week ban. If a player is removed from the field of play by a stretcher, then they are not able to return to take part in the game. If a player is assisted from the field in any other way, it is important to note that they are not considered to have been stretchered off and may return to play, but only if the first aider clears them to return. Protective equipment. The WA Football Commission understands that due to the nature of our sport, parents and players may want to take certain safety measures to ensure players are protected while participating in training and matches. In doing this, we must ensure that all protective equipment is suitable for football and that the safety of all participants is considered. Some items do not require any approval, such as mouthguards, standard helmets and glasses, provided they are plastic and have a strap to hold them in place. We strongly recommend that every player wears a mouthguard at training and during matches. Some items will not be permitted to be worn, such as plaster casts or jewellery. The only exception to jewellery is a medic alert bracelet, which must be taped and marked with medic. No other jewellery can be taped up. The list of protective equipment items is long and vast. Some of the most common items that players request to wear are diabetic pumps and monitors, shin guards. These will only be approved under medical conditions, and kidney guards. The application for approval to wear these items is quick and easy. If you have a player who is seeking permission to wear any protective items, please speak to your club registrar, who will submit the form on the player's behalf along with a photo of the requested equipment. In 2024, approval will again not be required for any short-length undergarments such as skins, as long as they are black, white or beige. Players wishing to wear short undergarments in any other colour or long undergarments in any colour will still need to apply for approval. Please speak to your club registrar to receive the required permit. The rules of our game are ever evolving, and back in 2021, junior community football adopted the same rules as per the AFL with some modifications. These rules will continue in 2024. These rules are the protected space for kick-ins, standing the mark, and not having to wait for the flags following a behind. Boundary umpires are required for the Year 11 and 12 male competition, and they will require a boundary umpire to assist with throwing in the ball. All other youth age competitions may provide a boundary spotter. This means a volunteer who will run the boundary to assist the umpires with the last touch rule. The spotter simply indicates the ball is out of play by raising their hand, and if they have a whistle, to blow it. Boundary spotters are not compulsory, but they do assist the umpires during the game. Water runners are again not permitted in season 2024, and players need to bring their own water bottles. Please encourage good hydration before and after the game, as well as during breaks and interchange during the game. If your team does not have a bench, players can approach the boundary line without leaving the field to have a quick water drink. They can grab a water bottle from their parents or somewhere on the sidelines. Concussion protocols. All clubs and teams must treat concussion and head injuries with the utmost importance to ensure player well-being. Any player who suffers a head knock at a match should be immediately removed from the field and assessed for signs of concussion by using the free Head Check app. A reminder that the first aider has the final say as to whether a player can return to the field and should not be pressured into allowing the player to return to the game. When in doubt, sit them out. Returning to play after concussion. Any suspected concussions must be reported to the WAFC by your club. All players with suspected concussions must seek an urgent medical assessment with a registered medical doctor. Once a concussion has been confirmed, the player and the family should be made aware of the WAFC's concussion policy and the mandated 21-day graded loading program outlined by the WAFC. Please remember that the 21 days is not a standard wait and play, it is the minimum requirement, and all concussions should be treated as unique and assessed independently. Any players with a history of concussion or reoccurrence of symptoms should have a more conservative approach adopted. Returning to play after concussion. Multiple concussions in a season. If a player receives a second concussion in a season, then the player must be assessed by a doctor or medical practitioner who specialises in concussion management and be medically cleared by them in order to return to training or play. The WAFC can assist clubs and families in identifying doctors who specialise in this field of concussion. If a player receives a third concussion within a season, combined by any competition, i.e. club, school football, training, AFL 9s, etc., then it is highly recommended by the WAFC that the player does not play for the remainder of the season and should continue to be assessed and monitored by a medical specialist in concussion management. You can find the full policy at WA Football in the Care Club Hub. Season 2024. As you should be aware, the registration system across the country has migrated to Play HQ. Once you've registered as a team manager, your club will provide you with access to your team. Please log into your account at playhq.com to access your team, fixtures and squad. Each week, as team manager, you'll be required to organise a number of volunteers who help ensure the match runs smoothly. These volunteers are identified by wearing a vest on game day. In 2022, some of these vest colours changed and are being phased in over a 3-year period, so both colours will be accepted in the 2024 season. The new interchange vest has been introduced for the 2024 season. This has been rolled out over a 2-year period. Coaches must wear the dark blue vest and assistant coaches wear the light blue vest. Game times across Metro North will be standardised to assist umpires to be allocated to games more closely correlated to their skill level and assist clubs for play-ups in case of low team numbers. Friday nights are predominantly fixtured for our female competitions, with the younger age groups playing in the earlier time slot and older teams in the later time slot. Sundays are predominantly fixtured with our mixed and male competitions, again with the younger age groups playing in the earlier time slots and older age groups in the later time slots. Year 7s may find some games are fixtured at 10 a.m. depending on availability of ovals and umpires. Whilst the competition team will endeavour to fixture games within these standard time slots, there will be times where games are played outside of these times and may be due to an oval or umpire availability, or it may be because your club has requested a change in playing date or time for a special event. If for any reason your team is unavailable to play a certain fixture, please let your club registrar know as soon as possible. The following rules will continue for the season 2024. Runners must be 18 years or older. This is because, as well as delivering messages from the coaches, the runners' purpose is to de-escalate any on-field tensions from their players and potentially remove players from the field if needed. In these situations, emotional maturity is required, with the underage participants less likely to have this maturity. Team numbers in youth ages allow for all ages to have 5 players on the bench in 2024. Year 7 to 10 competitions are 15 aside, Year 11-12 female competitions are 16 aside, and Year 11 or 12 male competitions are 18 aside. Zone sets have also been defined for all youth age competitions, as the importance of having wings has been identified by the WFC talent and coaching staff as per the diagrams listed. These are also listed in the rules and regulations for further information. Supporting umpires. Umpires play a key role in the successful delivery of community football. All teams, players, officials, parents and spectators are expected to adhere to a zero-tolerance stance against any form of umpire or official abuse, verbal dissent, intimidation or disputing of decisions. Just like players, our umpires are also learning and need our full support. Only the team captain or manager may approach an umpire during the breaks in the match. They may not question decisions, interpretations or question the free kick count. By supporting our umpires, you play a vital role in developing the highest quality of umpires for our game. If you do have any feedback for the umpires, this should be given to your club president or registrar, who will pass the information on to our WAC umpiring department. Remember that all umpires are still learning, so only constructive and non-emotional feedback will be accepted. Season information. If you have not already been advised, round 1 will begin on the weekend of the 26th of April to the 28th of April. We will have bye rounds over the June long weekend and July school holidays. Round 14 will be our last round of ordinary fixtures before 3 weeks of finals begins. Grand finals for all age groups, including mixed, male and female, will be played on Sunday, 8th of September. Regrading will occur after the round 5 over the June long weekend bye if required. Please note that if your competition is impacted by regrading, with either a team leaving or entering, the competition ladder will be reset to 0. The only element that will carry over is your E-points. In 2024, the WAC competition team will be able to regrade any team at any time during the season to ensure all teams remain competitive within their competitions throughout the year. This will be done at the discretion of the WAC competitions team in conjunction with the WAC competitions unit. This season we will have the following special rounds acknowledged. Round 3 is Umpire Appreciation Round, where we acknowledge the vital role umpires play in our game. Round 8 is Socket Sarcoma Round, where we raise awareness and much needed funds for an important cause by wearing odd socks and donating gold coins. NAIDOC Round is over 2 rounds this year, rounds 9 and 10. District Dreaming Round is a celebration of Indigenous culture and acknowledgement of the contributions from both Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Australians to our great game. Then round 12 is our Thank a Volunteer Round, where we celebrate all the volunteers who contribute to our kids being able to play the game they love. Match durations for youth age competitions are 15-minute quarters for our Year 7 to Year 12 female competitions and Year 7 to 8 mixed competitions. Our Year 9 mixed, Year 10 male and Year 11-12 male competitions are 20-minute quarters. All age groups have the same length of break times with 5 minutes for quarter time, 10 minutes for half time, and 5 minutes for three-quarter time. Please remember to stick to these times to ensure games after yours are not delayed. Game day procedures. Prior to game day, you will need to log into your PlayHQ Managers portal and create your team sheets. This may also be done by your club registrars for you. Please refer back to your club for information. Please ensure your team sheet has the name of all players you'll be playing and their jumper numbers. If a player is listed and then does not play, please place a line through their name on the paper team sheet and later remove them from the electronic team sheet. In an even up situation, please also list the opposition player's name and jumper number while playing for your team on your paper team sheet. You will also need to indicate which quarter the player played for your team. If you are unable to select a player on your team sheet, please speak with your club registrar, as playing an ineligible player can result in penalties for the team. Your team sheet will also need to have the names of your coach, assistant coach, runner, team manager, first aider, goal umpire, and interchange steward. 2 team sheets need to be given to the umpire at the beginning of the game. At the conclusion of the game, 1 team sheet will be returned to you. Each club has different procedures for this team sheet, so please refer to your club for directions on how the team sheet is to be stored and how the data is to be updated in PlayHQ. Recording interchange. As mentioned earlier, each team in all competitions from Year 3 to Year 12 are required to run the interchange app for every game. While it may not seem important to use the app when you have no bench, the competitions team use the report not only to show rotations, but also as a backup team sheet to show injuries sustained to players and to ensure players awarded with yellow or red cards have set off the required 15 minutes. Please help your interchange steward by ensuring all players' names are listed as well as their jumper number prior to the game. We recommend having an additional player profile or 2 set up under the even up name so you can use this when borrowing players. Game days, please remember that as team manager, you're responsible for managing the team, volunteers, and parent group behaviour. In the event of any conflict issues, please take prompt action and work with the opposition team manager to de-escalate and resolve the situation. Under no circumstances is the team manager able to enter the field of play whilst the game is running. Any conflicts on the field are dealt with by the umpires. A reminder that penalties for encroachment range from 4 to 16 weeks suspension. On game days, please ensure you're introducing yourself to the opposition team manager and the umpires. Provide your umpire with 2 copies of your team sheet, ensure a ground inspection is completed, and have enough scorecards as required. The home team manager is responsible for providing a game ball, while the opposition team manager should have a spare ball in case it is needed during the game. During the game, it is important to know that the coach's box is only for those volunteers participating in the game. Additionally, players who are not playing in the game should not be sitting in the coach's box. They can sit right next to it or behind it. The interchange area is a space available for your interchange steward and timekeeper or scorer. Please note that the interchange steward is able to leave the area and approach the coach's box to provide updates on rotations to the coach. As team manager, you are also permitted to be in the interchange area if needed. If you are new to junior football and unaware where the coach's box or interchange area is, the below diagram can be attained from the rules and regulations on the WA Football website. Post-game procedures. At the conclusion of the game, please seek out your umpires to receive your team sheet back. Please be aware that umpires may be located at the side of the ground or located in the change rooms, and your patience as they complete their post-game paperwork is appreciated. Following the game, each club has different protocols for who enters scores and updates players list. Some clubs have team managers update this information, while other clubs have a designated volunteer to complete this task. Please seek guidance from your club as to which process you are to follow. If you are entering scores, please ensure the results accurately reflect what the umpire has written on the team sheets. The competition team will mercify the results following the completion of the round if required. Additionally, you will need to ensure the iPad connects to Wi-Fi and uploads your interchange report to the cloud. Once in the cloud, the competitions team will be able to review the report. If you have had any game day issues or need to provide umpire feedback, please speak to your club representative, such as registrar or president, and they will be able to assist you. If there are any game day issues, a conflict resolution is available to be used, which effectively escalates matchday disputes. Please report any incidents of poor behaviour or sportsmanship to your club. Your club president will then make contact with the opposition club president and attempt to resolve the dispute. If and when needed, the WAFC competitions team will then be notified of the incident and any resolution achieved. Thank you for participating in the Youth Team Managers Bouncedown. Should you have any further queries, please contact your club registrar in the first instance. Please do not close this window, as you will now be redirected to a short assessment. We thank you for volunteering to take on the essential role of team manager for season 2024. We wish you a fun, safe and enjoyable season of football.